Kate Thorvaldsen was born in Drammen, Norway in 1969 and is one of the best-known close encounters experiencers in her country. Her first experience at the age of 3 was followed by a series of other close encounters. She is the first person to scientifically establish the presence of at least 25 truly anomalous, symmetrically placed implants in her body, each close enough to the surface that small magnets stick to them. Kate is not a researcher or investigator, but a writer, a public speaker, and a multimedia artist. She is a guest on a growing number of radio shows, including KGRA's Truth Frequency Radio and Starborn Support Radio. Kate appeared in the 2000 Norwegian documentary film Looking for the Stars and was interviewed by Emmy Award winners Linda Moulton Howe and Sid Goldberg for Earth Mystery News. Her first book, A Hybrid Story, will be published this fall. The subject of her second book is theoretical astrophysics, a subject she was not trained in, but nonetheless has gained an extensive knowledge of and insights into through her contacts with other intelligences, beings she feels have been preparing her to receive additional information. Kate is proud to be a speaker at this year's Pine Bush UFO Fair and Conference, her very first speaking engagement in this country, on her very first visit to the United States. Please give a warm welcome to Kate Thorvaldsen.
Oops. I have a sensitive computer. Okay.
Let me turn it on.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, then I think I will start with my first encounter. Yeah, I guess that's why you are here to hear. As I said, I was born in Drammen in 1969, and that I don't know how familiar you are with Norway, but on the red dot is close by Oslo, 2 hours from Oslo. There I was born. See, this one, just a second. This doesn't work. Yeah, that's better. Yep. Here was the place I had my first encounters. See? Okay. Yeah. I had my first encounters when I was 3 years. Okay, sorry, I'm not used to using the mic. Enormous heavy hanging it all. I was 3 years old, as I said, when I had my first encounters. This is me as a little kid. This is my house. And I was sleeping up. I was supposed to sleep up here. So this is the second floor. And see? This was very close up to Christmas. And my mother, she has told me that Santa Claus was coming. And of course, she was putting me to bed one night, and I was standing in my crib, and I was looking around in the room and out to the stars, and not thinking so much as I can remember. But suddenly, then this grey creature was just coming through the wall. There was no sound, not at all. Just come gliding over the floor, standing in front of my crib, looking at me. And I was thinking, okay, who are you? And I was trying to say something, but I didn't get any response on the language. Of course, we didn't speak the same language in that kind of way. I soon realized that I didn't need to speak, because we had a communication between our heads. And he was just standing there looking at me, and I was looking at him, and he was giving me the feeling that, oh, I'm here just to see if you are okay. And I was thinking, oh, I got a new friend. I had Santa Claus. So I remember that my mother, she was coming later, and I was telling her, oh, Santa Claus has been here. Of course she was thinking, funny imagination. And a few days later, it was actually Christmas Eve, and my mother, she was taking me on her arm, bringing me into the living room, and I was going to meet Santa Claus. That was my uncle, dressed in red, plastic face, false beard. I looked at this man and I was screaming my head off. I was terrified. That was the worst Santa Claus ever. That was not my Santa Claus, that was sure. So yeah, I didn't like the Santa Claus, but I love this one. This was my new friend. So the funny thing is, I wonder if my mother understood what was going on, because she has seen them before, and my grandfather has also seen them before. And they was giving me an unusual, how to say it, that you are giving presents for the kids. Not on the Christmas Eve, but a little bit later. You know the Legos. Normally you are giving big kind of Legos to kids that are 3 years old. I didn't get that. I was getting the spacecraft that was going to the moon. That was typical, very typical present to give to a girl at 3 years old. But I was very happy about it, so yeah. Couldn't have been a better present. Give me a doll and I will throw it away. Let's see if it sticks now. Okay. Yeah, this is a picture more like the way he was looking. But of course it's difficult to find the right kind of species. So mine was a little bit more flat on the top. I found it later. You see? This image is actually Daryl Sims' picture from his experience. I was just bringing this along because it's very much similar to the same thing I had. So yeah. The next experience I had, it was in 1979 in Konnerud. It's not that far away. That is this area, not so far away from the first one. And the funny thing is that UFO Norway has actually reported, they have got a report in that time period that people have seen the lights over that area in that time. So that was a good for me. As a kid, I loved very much to climb out on the roof when everyone was falling asleep. And sitting on the roof, looking at the stars, didn't feel at home here at all. I was always a lonely person, didn't fit in school, didn't fit in anywhere actually. And my mind was just thinking, oh, someone out there, come down here and bring me home. I had no idea how many days or nights I was doing this, but one day they were coming. So it's a little bit confusing with the pictures since I was actually 9 years old, but a little bit more grown up right there. See? So one night I was sitting on the roof. There was this big light over my head, and then sucked me up. And the next thing I remember is that I'm lying in my bed, waking up next morning, and I was thinking, how did I end up here? This picture was coming to me after a regression session many years later. So yeah, it was a big difference in me, because normally girls in that age, we love horses. We are talking horses, we are breeding horses, our entire life is horses. So from drawing horses, I was starting to draw this. Big difference. Little grey man with big black eyes. Talking about other solar systems, planets, yeah, all kind of stuff that is very normal for a 9-year-old girl to do. So if they were thinking I was a freak before, I was really giving them a good reason. But this time they will stop bullying me. I think they was thinking that I was going over the edge. So, but this last experience that was close encounters was actually really a heavy one. That one is on Gull Mountain. You can see it's very far away from Oslo here. I was supposed to stay up there for 2 months working on my book. And it was around 20 kilometers to the next house. So I really wanted to be alone, out in the wilderness. Completely alone, quiet, nice, just me and the cat. And I think I was staying there for a week. So it was very short 2 months. I was waking up one morning and I was thinking that, what's happened to my face? Because it looks like that someone had, it's not pillow marks. If someone in metal thing, like grab you, having this kind of mark on your face, so you can see the really good sign after I've been there. And I had this grayish, greenish material that was dried from my eye and from my nose. And I was thinking, oh, am I going to be sick? But it was a little bit strange too. What kind of sickness is that? So, but when the day went by, there was no problem. I was going back to my normal duties. But when the night was coming, then I was changing. I had no idea what was freaking me out, but I was so stressed out. I think I was reading the same magazine maybe 20 times that night because I didn't dare fall to sleep. And yeah, it was really freaking me out because I knew that something had happened, but I didn't remember what. I prefer to remember. So I was getting in contact with the people that was owning this cabin, and they were picking me up. This is the cabin. So you see, nice place. Just wish I could stay there longer. Yeah, after a regression, this was the being that was taking me out from the bedroom. And actually, this picture is not right, because if this picture was a negative, that all the black lines would be shining, then the picture would be right. Here, it's me with the two. I had 3 of the small beings and the 1 tall one. The 3 of them was working on me, and they was putting this kind of helmet on my head. There you can also see these gripping things that were trying to hold the helmet on my head. And I also got this needle stuck in my ears, and I had these long kind of arms with these 4 kind of things that was stuck up into my nose. And at that moment, I was asking them to please don't let me remember anything more. And from that moment, everything was great. So the people that man was doing the hypnosis thing, he was working on me for 2 hours, and he couldn't break it. But for me, it was okay, because I knew already what was happening. And that was the same thing that was happening to me when I was 10 years old. So I was losing my smell at the 10, but now it's a big difference. Okay, go back a little. Because when I was coming back to the society with the power, electrical power, then I could see the change. If everyone here has a mobile phone charger, how many of you can hear the mobile phone charger as a microphone beep really screaming? No. It was a microphone beep that's screaming, that is terrible noise. Most of you people will put your fingers in your ears and, oh, just get rid of it. That was the sound. And light bulbs, CDs, people talking, everything was terribly loud. So I had to walk around for years with cotton dots in my ears, and even today I need it now and then, because it's just too much. And my smelling was suddenly back. And my boyfriend at the time, he had given me a perfume for a long time ago. I was just being polite. I couldn't smell it, so I was just taking the perfume on, doing like this. You smell it, I don't. I was doing this as just a normal thing to do. Walking into his office, turning around, out again, just to wash it off. It was just terrible. If you're first going to buy me a perfume, why don't buy something better? Yeah. And my eyes too, so I'm very sensitive to light. So even now, if I'm driving in a car, especially at night time, I can't drive the car in the night. Because if the light is coming through against me, I can't see the road, I can see nothing. And even this is painful. So most of the time I'm using the sunglasses. So that was a big difference when I was coming back from the cabin. So everyone can really see the big difference. Yeah. And then we're going over to the funny part, because this happened for lots of years ago, in '96. And since I've had my son and there's lots going on in my life, I was leaving all this area quiet. But January last year, the circus started again. So, implants. How many of you have implants, or you know you have implants? No. I was thinking that maybe I have someone, but I don't care that much. A little bit lazy, I must confess that. But I have a friend in Canada, Sid Goldberg. He was working on a case with that this woman had implants, and he's saying to me, "Why don't you buy one of those magnets and try? Because I have this square-shaped mark, not mark, but a thing in my neck." And he said, why don't you try the magnet on that to see if it sticks? And one thing is to think that you maybe have an implant, to thinking that you actually have an implant. That's huge. So when that was sticking, it was, oh shit. And my friend said, you know what, your nose has been closed since you were 10 years old. Why not try it there too? Oops. It was sticking there too. So then I was going on a research party on my body, and at that point we find 25. Symmetrical placed. This is not mine, I was just showing it because it has the same shape as on my neck. Here there are a few of them sticking on my face. And here we need to take 2 pictures because they're so strong, and if you're getting the magnets too close, they will just click together. There are 5 in the front, and then those 2 on my neck. And this is a picture that I was drawing instead of very close off. So here you can see the marks up here, both sides here, 5 in the front, and then all the way down my spine, and 2 here. Just from 1.5 weeks ago, we found that there are 4 more. But I also have 3 here, but the magnets won't stick, so I guess that they are sitting just too, deep. Okay, where did that picture go? Okay, we are going over to the X-rays, because I have so many asking me, why don't you take the X-rays? Why don't you remove them? And I said that, you know what, I will not remove them, because they are symmetrical placed, they are there for a reason. If there was just one randomly placed, of course I'll take it. See? This is the chiropractor center in Tønsberg, where of the very few that would actually let you come in and do this kind of pictures. Of course, he wouldn't be giving out his name or anything, because this is out of the... You're not even registered in their papers. This is one of them. So now everyone knows how it looks inside. Here you can see the tree here. They are not circle, but this is enlarged. So they are exactly this they are looking for. So if they are metal or if they are organic, we don't know. If we will find out, I don't know. Sooner or later, yeah. And there's a lot of other tests that we will try to do, MRI, maybe new X-rays, and there are all kinds of things that you can scientifically try to measure this stuff with. But I find it fascinating that most of these are placed in the meridian system. So I guess, they are really there for a reason. This is a little bit funny. This was in Holmford, September last year. I guess that most of you have heard of the Star Child skull. This is me with a Star Child skull. I have a friend over there, it's called Tino Megaro. He was, really bringing it up to me, because I have always been joking that I have a funny skull, that I would look very strange if I didn't have my hair on. Of course, this is stuck, I'm not going to take it off. But he has felt how it is up here. I've always been joking about it, and I was looking at the skull, but no one home. So I was continue talking with someone else. But then I was seeing him standing there, holding the skull, looking at me, and then you can see the light come on. So he was asking, we were asking Andrew Johnson that has this skull, why can't you measure it up? So he was measuring up this way, and how deep it was. And then he was measuring up my skull. And that showed to be 100% match. So I'm joking a little bit that we are the updated version. So, strange. Last time I did it, everyone was standing like this. Okay. This is one of the things that I'm thinking that the implants are helping me with. I had a period of time for almost 3 months. There was, Yeah, how to explain that? Imagine every question you had your entire life. How would you feel if you were suddenly getting the answer of every question? That's a lot of info. Really, really a lot of info. They were starting on me just out of the blue. Like you people can see everything around you. Imagine if you are seeing like a transparent film in front of you at the same time. This is just rolling and rolling with lots and lots of info. It can be pictures, film, but you're not even looking at it, you just get it in. I was doing this for 3 months. Lots and lots of headache too. I guess that the drive was a little bit too hot up there. And yeah, but when I was done with this downloading, I was standing back and I couldn't say that I knew everything. I was just like feeling back on ground zero. I didn't have the questions and I didn't have the answers. They were just fine. And okay, what was this really useful for? Now I know. Because later I was working in the basement on a wedding dress, actually. Not mine, but someone else. And then some numbers start to occur in my head. This picture was building up, building up, building up. This is the first picture I was drawing. This was a little piece of how the universe and beyond the universe were built up. So they were really taking me out for a really long trip. So this is my start with astrophysics. So I'm standing there and I'm working on a wedding dress and then I'm suddenly into astrophysics. That's, yeah, normal day life. For most people, maybe. So, yeah. Of course, I will not go into this field because that will be coming in my next book. Of course, most of you people are familiar with this guy. And, yeah. If you want to find the secret of the universe, think in terms, energy, frequency, and vibration. And you have no idea the good feeling it is when you finally understand those words. And actually can do something about it, live after it, could be a deliberate creator. You can change your entire world by knowing how these things works. And the same way, if you want to connect, it's all about frequency. So if you're putting yourself in the right frequency, you will actually be able to connect. So it sounds simple, and it is simple, but you have to figure it out first how to do it. And this is just a little commercial for my book that will be coming this fall. So here it will be, I will be writing about my bigger picture of my life story, because this is a very short and small picture. Because in here it will be everything from paranormal, past lives, all kind of stuff that you can build up so you can see why. In another hand, when reading the book, then you will understand why I'm calling it a hybrid story. So, thank you for listening.
I have seen this without anything on her face, but there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and it needs to be on the right spot, because if it's a half centimeters on the side, it will fall off. So it's not. I can't see where I'm putting it, so maybe I'm lucky. No, I was not lucky. I need to put some mark on my face.
I was hoping you brought magnets. I was hoping you brought magnets.
Yeah, I did.
Great.
Whoops. No, it's not on the right spot. But here you can see it will not fall off. You can take this away so this will not keep the other one in place. So, yeah. This is all over. Whoops. They're powerful. Oops. Yep.
Good.
That's it.
Thank you again.
Thank you.